Hello everyone, it's Annie and I'm here with the long-awaited second annual Linguathon announcement. Last year I co-hosted with Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages, and this year we have 3 co-hosts. So it's me and Noelle again, plus Brittany from Literary Smitten. We're so excited to have her join us. If you don't know, we're also the co-host of the Found in Translation book club, which has been so much fun. So we are really excited to do Linguathon for a second year. So without further ado, let me tell you the details. So this readathon will be happening all month, so April 1st through 30th, so you have a lot of times to read. And this is not your average competitive readathon, it is actually a cooperative readathon. So the goal is to fly our planes and reach our destination, which will be revealed soon in the Discord. So we all need to help each other. There are 3 teams, but we all need to read roughly equal amounts of books or pages in each category. Otherwise, someone will be left behind and bad things will happen and we won't get there. So there are 3 teams. First is mine. I am in the navigator role, and there are 3 prompts. The first is Women in Translation, so you can read any book written by a woman. We have a recommendation list for you for most of these prompts. For me, I am planning to read either Riku Onda or Kanae Minato, but I have a whole list of a bunch of other women in translation from all different languages, so think about it to your heart's content. And then we have a backlist translated work, which we have decided means 2017 or pre-2017. So just something that hasn't come out in the last couple years would be great. Just to, spread things out, give us a little bit of variety. And then, this is a fun one, read a book from or about or set in a country you've either visited, or if you haven't traveled, a country that you want to visit. This is probably my favorite prompt because it's so open-ended. It does not need to be a translated work. It doesn't need to even be fiction. It can be nonfiction as well. So that opens up a lot of history and things like that. This is going to be so much fun because I love to travel and I'm still debating whether to read something from a place I have already visited or to kind of branch out and want to read a book from a place that I want to visit next. The next team is Engineer, and it is Brittany's team. The first prompt is to read a translated anthology or short story collection. This is a fun one because there's more of them than you think. Again, I have the rec list, but this is just going to be really interesting. There are a lot of really interesting ones, such as People from My Neighborhood by Hiromi Kawakami. There is also Shoko's Smile by Choi Young. Apple and Knife by an Indonesian author, which I don't know about you guys, but I have not read a lot of Indonesian authors, if any, so I definitely might pick that one up. And there are a couple of Chinese sci-fi anthologies which are really interesting that I'm also considering, so this is an exciting prompt. Then we have a nonfiction book out of your comfort zone. So this is something for people that might have a little bit of a hard time getting a hold of translated works. Can be anything as long as it's outside of your comfort zone. I don't have a rec list for this because it's kind of hard to do that because I don't know what your comfort zone is. But for example, for me, I'm more humanities based, but I really enjoyed the book Disordered Cosmos, which is about science and physics. So that would kind of be considered outside of my comfort zone. Something like that. Honestly, just read any nonfiction book you enjoy. That maybe will have you learn something, okay? This readathon is about learning about the world, so take that as you will. And then the last prompt for engineers is to read a translated classic. This is also really fun because there's a ton of them. And a lot of them are either really long or really short, like The Metamorphosis by Kafka is super short. And then we have the bunch of Russian classics that are all like 1,000 pages. So you can read whatever you want there. You have a lot of choices. And then Noelle's team are the pilots. So we have a lot of interesting prompts here. First, we have to read a sci-fi or fantasy book featuring language or featuring a constructed language or conlang. So that can be like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. There is some others, but I can't think of them right off the top of my head. It doesn't have to have a conlang. It can just be like a full-fledged conlang, I mean. It can just be that it's set in a fantasy world that has like a bunch of weird words that the author made up. You know, it's open-ended. We're trying to make this easy. And then we have read an award-winning work in translation. So this is also pretty open-ended. I have a few recommendations, such as Winter in Sokcho is a recently translated work that won the National Prize for Literature, I think, in the translation category last year. There's also a few others, The Vegetarian, Celestial Bodies, which won an award. I think it won the Booker Prize one year. So there's a lot to choose from here. So you can probably get a translated work that has been in your TBR for a long time off your TBR by reading something for this prompt. And then we have another easier one, which is to read a novel, so a fiction novel, set in a non-English speaking country. So again, I don't really have a rec list for that because there's so many you can choose from, but just a country that does not have English as one of its official languages is what I am considering fitting for this prompt. So yeah, that's pretty easy. You can read anything. Okay, so then we have what we call extra fuel, so it's like the bonus. First, we have our group book, which is actually the April pick for the Fountain Translation Book Club, which is Iraqi Nights. This is a poetry collection translated from Arabic, and we're also picking it because April is Poetry Month in the US, so this is perfect, and if you read this, it will count for extra fuel to help you propel your plane towards the destination. And then we have 3 other extra fuel prompts. So first is a book about language and linguistics that is nonfiction. So there are quite a few of these. There are Cultish and Word Slut by Amanda Montell, I think is her name, which are quite popular recently. There are a couple of older ones. There's also Word by Word by Corey Stamper, which is a really fun one that I do highly recommend. There are a bunch of others, and if you're interested in learning more about languages and linguistics, this is your chance. And then we have another fun one that is a memoir by someone not from your home country. So any foreign memoir that is foreign to you. When I made the rec list, I live in the United States, so I chose people who are not from the United States. But if you're not from the United States, obviously you can read a memoir by an American. So anyone from anywhere. And then the last extra fuel prompt is to read a book that features words and phrases from another language, not a constructed language, because that's a different prompt. So I immediately thought of Elizabeth Acevedo's books because she includes a lot of Spanish in her books, also Adiba Jagradar, and Last Night at the Telegraph Club has Cantonese. There are a whole bunch of them. And if you need more recs or you just don't want to look at a document, that's understandable. I am going to have my TBR out a little bit earlier than usual for April, so you can see what I'm planning to read. And of course, you can also look at Noelle and Brittany's TBR videos when they come out as well. And don't forget to check out their announcement videos. They should have gone up today as well. I'll have them linked somewhere, probably in the description, and I'm sure they'll be lurking around in the comments somewhere as well. So yeah, we will have our Discord linked down below. Please join us. This is going to be so much fun and such a great opportunity to read along with everyone and learn about the world and different languages that you might not have known about before. And I really hope you join us. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know in the comments also if you're going to join, because I want to know. I want to talk to you guys. Okay, so thank you so much, and if you liked, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!